Chosen one. Before the world had a name for what you carry, God had already written yours. That is not poetry. That is the precise mechanism behind why you stopped just now, when everything in you had been conditioned to keep going, when the scroll had become automatic, when the momentum of 100 distractions had built itself into the rhythm of your day. Something broke that rhythm. Something your thumb did not decide. You have been moving through a season that has no clean edges, not fully stuck, not fully free. Operating in the in-between, with a kind of quiet faithfulness that has gone unwitnessed, that has received no applause, that has asked you to keep going without the visible evidence that going was working. That faithfulness did not go unnoticed. What you are about to receive in the next several minutes was not placed here for anyone who happened to pause. It was placed here for the one who has been carrying exactly what you are carrying, who has been faithful in exactly the way you have been faithful, who has arrived at exactly this kind of moment. This is not content, this is a delivery, and what it is delivering was always addressed to you. You can stop performing now. This is yours. Before I say anything else, I need you to do one thing. Put everything else down. If you are around other people right now, understand this. These words were not written for a crowd. They were written for the specific kind of quiet that only exists when someone is carrying something alone, when no one around them sees the weight, when they have gotten very good at appearing fine. You do not have to move or change your position. Just breathe once, a real one, not a distracted one. Let your shoulders settle. Let whatever tension you have been holding in your chest come down just slightly. Because what is about to happen in the next several minutes deserves your presence, not your multitasking, not your half attention, your full presence. Everything I am about to share with you is free. There is nothing here that costs you anything. But I want to be transparent with you. If at any point in what comes next, your spirit tells you there is something more waiting for you, the description below this video and the pinned comment hold what you are looking for. Do not look until you feel led. We will come back to it. And I want to say something before we go any further. I hear the Father saying something over you right now, not in thunder, quietly. And this is what I feel in my spirit. Stop, not because you need to rest, because what I have placed here for you requires you to actually be present for once. Just be here. That is all I need from you right now. There are 3 specific things I want you to know by the time this is over. The first is why God uses interruption rather than announcement for the people who are actually called. The second is what your quiet season has actually been building inside of you, because I promise you it was not wasted. And the third is an ancient word, a word from the original text, that will change everything about why you are here today, and not yesterday, and not tomorrow. I also want to share something practical near the end, something you can bring into your daily life, something that bridges everything we will talk about into a tool you can actually work with. Stay with me through all of it. The best is still ahead. Now let me describe something to you. You were doing something ordinary. Your thumb was moving without much thought. You passed 100 things, and the rhythm was automatic. The kind of movement that happens when the mind is somewhere else, somewhere quieter, somewhere trying to escape something it cannot name. And then something stopped you. Not a loud thing, not something demanding. Just a pause, a recognition, a freeze that happened before your mind had time to explain it. That is exactly what I am talking about. Every day you scrolled past the things that tried to reach you. Every notification you opened and forgot within the hour. Every video you started and let fade into background noise. Every evening you closed your phone, carrying the same gentle emptiness you had been carrying since morning, until this one. That pattern has a name. And the name is not distraction. The name is searching. Here is what I want you to understand about where you are right now. There are things happening in you that most people do not talk about because they do not have the language for them. But you have felt them. I know you have. The first thing is this restlessness. Not the anxious kind, the creative kind. A feeling like something is trying to surface from somewhere deep, like ideas or directions or impulses keep knocking and then retreating before you can catch them. You want to build something, you want to create something, but every time you reach for it, it slips just slightly out of focus. That is not a malfunction. That is your calling, announcing itself before it has found its shape. The restlessness is the signal, not the problem. The second thing is the shift in your tolerance. Things that used to satisfy you have stopped satisfying you. Conversations that felt fine a year ago now feel shallow. Entertainment that once filled the quiet now only makes the quiet more obvious. You are not depressed. You are not broken. You are outgrowing something you were always meant to outgrow. Your taste has been recalibrated by what you are being prepared to receive. The third thing is the timing. The way certain words appear at the exact moment you needed them, from sources that had no way of knowing what you were carrying. The way a phrase from a conversation that had nothing to do with your situation somehow spoke directly into it anyway. This is not coincidence. This is targeted delivery. The divine does not broadcast to the masses. It delivers to the specific address. And the fourth thing is the knowing, the flashes, the moments where you sense something before the evidence arrives, a sense about a person, about a situation, about a decision that turns out to be accurate before you had any logical reason to trust it. That is not imagination. That is a sensitivity being sharpened for something that requires it. Think of it this way. Most signals pass through most people without registering. But when a message is encoded at your specific frequency, it does not bypass you. It arrests you. That is what happened when you stopped scrolling. The signal found the specific receiver it was encoded for. There was someone. I am not going to tell you who they are, but there was someone who found themselves paused exactly like this, in a season that felt more stalled than anything else. In a moment, they almost let pass. They almost kept scrolling. I want to come back to what happened when they did not. Because here is what I need you to understand. This pause is not the surface of something. It is only the beginning of what I see. And what I see goes much deeper. Let me ask you something. What if the season you have been in was not punishment? What if the waiting, the confusion, the feeling of going nowhere, the quietly exhausting experience of being faithful without visible results? What if all of that was not God's absence, but God's investment? There are three things that get built in people during the seasons they believe are wasted. The first is a specific kind of patience, not the passive kind where you sit and wait for something to arrive. The active kind, the kind that keeps you moving, keeps you showing up, keeps you working even without the confirmation that it is working. That kind of patience does not get produced by easy seasons. It gets produced by the seasons where you keep saying yes before the yes makes sense. That is not weakness. That is the most advanced spiritual discipline there is. The second thing is discernment. You have been reading rooms, reading people, reading situations, picking up on things others miss, sensing what is underneath what is being said. That is not anxiety, even though it sometimes feels like it. That is a gift being sharpened in seasons that required you to see clearly when everything looked unclear. The people who go through what you have been through do not come out ordinary. They come out perceptive, unusually so. And the third thing is capacity. Your container was being made larger because what was being prepared for your life could not have fit into the version of you that existed 2 years ago. You cannot pour an ocean into a cup. And so the cup had to become something different. That happened in the silence. That happened in the confusion. That happened in the seasons you believed were taking something from you, when they were actually adding something you could not yet see. What you called wasted time was actually formation. What you called confusion was actually calibration. What you called delay was actually the space your capacity needed to expand. I want to tell you something from the book of Acts. There is a story there that most people have read and moved past too quickly. Philip is on a road, not doing anything particularly significant, and the Spirit speaks to him, not in a vision, not in a dream, but in the middle of an ordinary day. The Spirit says something specific, not, "There is an interesting thing happening over there," not, "Go check it out when you have time." The Spirit says, "Go near that chariot and stay close to it." Now, specific, immediate. And in that chariot, there is a man who has been reading for a long time. He has the words in front of him. He can read them, but he cannot understand them because the text requires the specific person at the specific moment to make the specific connection that changes everything. The Spirit did not call Philip to be generally helpful. The Spirit called Philip because that man could not receive what was in the words without the exact right person arriving on that exact road. Do you understand what I am saying? God said, "Stop scrolling to you today," the same way the Spirit said, "Go near to Philip." Not because you happen to be passing by, because there is something here that could only be received by the specific person who was called to this specific moment. And in the original Hebrew, there is a word for this kind of calling. It is qara. I will show you its full meaning in a moment. But I want you to hold that word right now, qara, because what it means is not what most people assume. It is more specific than you have been told, much more. That person I mentioned earlier, the one who almost kept scrolling, their quiet season had built exactly the three things I just described to you. They could not see it from inside of it, but the pause revealed it. Because what they found when they stayed connected, everything the formation had been preparing them for, and their trajectory changed, not because of magic, because of alignment, because preparation and delivery finally met. There are three words in the original text of the Spirit's command to Philip. Three words that change everything about why God said stop to you today. That is where we are going next. But before we get there, I want to pause for just a moment. You have been listening for a while now. Something in you has been processing, even below the level of conscious thought. That processing is not neutral. Something is shifting, and I do not need you to name it or understand it right now. Just let it breathe. There is nothing to grasp in this moment. What is already true does not need you to perform in order for it to remain true. Take one real breath. Just one. Let what you have already received settle into the ground of who you are. Okay, what I am about to tell you is the part that changes how you read everything we just covered. Stay with me. Qara, that is the word. In the original Hebrew, qara means to call forth by specific name, not by category, not by type, not by a general announcement that goes out to whoever is listening, by the particular name that only one person carries. When the Spirit spoke to Philip and said, "Go near," the root of that instruction carries the same weight as the word that appears throughout the Hebrew texts when God calls someone into something specific. God did not call Abraham as a member of a group. He called Abraham by name. He did not call Moses as someone who seemed qualified. He called Moses in the middle of an ordinary moment with a very specific instruction. And before Jeremiah was even born, the text says God told him, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I set you apart. I called you." The word is qara. I called you by your specific name, before you had a name to be called by. And here is what that means for you today. God did not broadcast a message to everyone scrolling. God used a specific signal, encoded for a specific receiver, placed in a specific location on a specific day, and the person it was encoded for arrived at the exact moment it was waiting. That is not coincidence. That is qara. You were called by name. That person I mentioned earlier, the one who almost kept scrolling, they did not understand in the moment why they stopped. They just felt it. An unusual pull. An interruption in the automatic rhythm of their day. They stayed. And what they found directly addressed the exact thing the quiet season had been preparing them to carry. Not a general blessing, a specific one, targeted, named, theirs. They told me later, "I almost kept scrolling," and I have thought about those words many times since, because all of us have seasons where we almost miss what was waiting for us. The difference between the ones who receive and the ones who scroll past is not worthiness. It is attention. And you are paying attention right now. I want to name something that is probably happening underneath all of this for you, because I have been in enough of these conversations to recognize it. You are checking for the catch. Beneath the stillness, beneath whatever is opening in you as you listen, there is a part of you scanning for the evidence that will prove this is not really for you. Looking for the thing that confirms you are the exception, the one who does not quite qualify, the one for whom this is almost true, but not quite. I know that pattern, and I want to say something directly to it. That caution is not weakness, that is wisdom. You have been disappointed before. You have extended belief in things that did not arrive. You have been faithful to promises that did not keep themselves. The caution makes complete sense. But there is a difference between healthy discernment and self-disqualification. And you are standing right at the edge of that line right now. God does not call people who have never doubted. He calls people who have every reason to doubt and who come anyway. Your doubt is not the obstacle. Your coming anyway is the entire point. And if there is a fear underneath the doubt, hear this. That fear is not a sign that you are not ready. It is a sign that you understand the weight of what is in front of you. The ones who have crashed never felt that weight because they had no awareness of it. Your awareness is the very thing that proves you can carry it. So let me say something to you that you may not have heard in a long time. You are allowed to receive without explaining yourself to anyone, and that is yours to receive. You are allowed to stop shrinking in spaces that were never designed to hold who you are becoming, and that is yours to claim. You are allowed to be the specific person this was prepared for, not someone who has to earn that position first, not someone who has to prove it before they can have it, and that is yours to own. You are allowed to put down what was never yours to carry, the guilt, the apologies, the constant calibration of yourself against other people's expectations, and that is yours to release. And you are allowed to believe that yours alone means exactly what it says, not almost, not partially, exactly, and that is yours to live. You are not a wandering scroller, you are a called one. The divine has specific, current, and complete knowledge of you, not of the version you perform, of who you actually are. Now, let me put all of this together, because everything I have shared with you today, the formation, the signs, the Philip story, the Hebrew word, the permission, all of it has been building toward one thing. Your formation season, your pause today, and your calling by name were not three separate events. They were one event, unfolding in sequence. Preparation came first, then recognition, then delivery. And the divine does not prepare people and then forget to follow through. Preparation implies delivery. You were prepared. Today is the delivery. The quiet season was not punishment. It was the container being enlarged. The scrolling was not distraction. It was searching, and you were looking for exactly this, without knowing its shape yet. The pause was not accident. It was arrival. You arrived at what had always been waiting for you, and the doubt was not weakness. It was discernment. The caution of someone who takes receiving seriously. You were called before you knew the name to answer to. The divine has complete and specific knowledge of you, not of who you perform, of who you actually are, at this exact moment, carrying exactly what you are carrying. You are not just chosen for recognition, you are chosen for movement. There is something you are meant to do with what is yours, and the formation season built in you exactly the tools you will need to do it. And the divine does not interrupt what is not ready. The fact that you stop today means you are ready. Not perfect, not finished, but ready. I hear the Father saying something over you right now. This is what I feel in my spirit for you in this moment. I have been calling your name since before you knew to listen. You listened today. That is all I needed from you. Just your yes. Just your willingness to stay when you could have kept going. What I have prepared for you was always yours, and I am not finished. You are committed, you are commissioned, you are sent. Before I give you the last thing I want to place in your hands today, and I will give it to you. There is one practical piece I need to share. Everything we have covered has lived in the spirit. What comes next bridges what you now understand about your calling into something you can work with in your daily life. Stay with me for just a few more minutes. Let me give you 3 things clearly, no metaphor, plain language, so you can carry these with you after this ends. The first is the why. You paused on this video because you are in a specific season, a formation season, one where something is being built inside of you that you cannot see from the inside of it. The fact that you stopped is not random. It is evidence of exactly where you are in your journey, right at the threshold of receiving what has been prepared. The second is the what. What we covered today is this. God works through interruption, not announcement, for the people who are actually called. You were called by name, qara, which means this is not a group message. It was addressed to you specifically. The formation you went through, the patience, the discernment, the enlarged capacity, none of it was wasted. It was targeted investment in the person you needed to become in order to receive what is yours. The third is the who. This is for the one who has been faithful in private without applause. The one who carried something without evidence the carrying was working. The one who almost kept scrolling and did not. That is you. That is why you are here. And that specificity is exactly why what I am about to share is relevant to you. Not just in general, but specifically. There is something practical I want to tell you about. Dr. Lake spent 34 years studying what he called the gap between the mind we have and the mind we were born with. And what his research uncovered, alongside work from teams at MIT, Princeton, and several other leading research universities, has direct bearing on everything we have just talked about. When a person is born, the brain operates at a specific frequency. The scientific term is gamma, and gamma is not just an academic description of electrical activity. The researchers who have spent decades mapping it describe it as the state corresponding to heightened intuition, creative intelligence, rapid pattern recognition, and what several of the studies call flow, the experience of operating from your deepest capacity rather than from survival circuits. Every one of the signs I described to you earlier, the creative restlessness, the changed tolerance, the intuition flashes, those are your brain moving toward the gamma state. That is not a spiritual metaphor. That is what the data shows. But here is the problem. The research also shows that gamma gets suppressed, systematically, beginning around age 7, through the combination of standardized learning environments, chronic stress, and a lifestyle that rewards the frequency of doing and reacting and penalizes the slower, deeper frequency of receiving and knowing. The researchers call this the decline effect. What the science describes as the decline effect, the spirit describes as the silencing of a God-given capacity. The frequency you were born with, the genius state, did not disappear. It was covered over, and it can be recovered. I talked earlier about your mind being a receiver. I want to come back to that now, because the research confirms it in the most specific way possible. Your brain is not broken. It is not diminished. It is a receiver that has been tuned to the wrong frequency, and a receiver on the wrong frequency is not a broken receiver. It is a receiver waiting to be recalibrated. I want to tell you about something that was created directly out of this research. It is called the Genius Song. The Genius Song is a 7-minute audio track built on the principle of brain entrainment, the scientifically documented process by which an external audio stimulus guides the brain toward a target frequency. In this case, gamma. You put on headphones, you close your eyes or simply rest, and you listen for 7 minutes. No meditation required, no mantras, no instructions beyond that. The audio does the work that decades of research designed it to do. Before I say anything else, let me be honest with you. This is not a miracle product. It is a tool, a daily practice. The formation you went through required consistency and time, and working with something like this is the same. but the access it restores is real. Over 18,000 people have used the Genius song, and less than 4% have returned it. That pairing of numbers matters more than either number alone, because it tells you not just how many people found it, but how many people stayed with it past the point where they could have walked away. Most of them did not walk away. Let me tell you about someone who came in carrying exactly the sign I described: the creative restlessness, the ideas that kept surfacing and then retreating before they could be caught. That person started using the Genius song as a daily 7-minute practice. Within 3 weeks, the ideas that had been retreating began arriving with enough clarity to act on, not because something new was added, because something was removed. The suppression began reversing. I want to address something you might be thinking right now. If you have tried things like this before, and they did not deliver, I understand that hesitation. What I want you to know is that this is a daily practice, not a one-time event. The formation you just went through took time. The recalibration takes time too. But unlike the formation season, this one has a structure, a 7-minute daily entry point, and it begins working from the first use. And if it sounds too simple to be real, that is actually the right response. Because the complexity was never in the access. The complexity was in the suppression. The suppression was the complicated part. The access is not. The Genius song is normally priced at $49. For the people watching this video, the price is $39. That is a price you will not find on Amazon or anywhere else. It is available here through this specific channel for the people who arrived at this specific message. With that, 4 bonuses are included at no additional cost. The first is a 6-minute audio track calibrated for children before the decline effect sets in, because protecting that frequency in the next generation matters. The second is the original book that the film The Secret drew from, the practical principles that most people only received in summary. The third is a 22-minute guided visualization, walking through 4 areas of life: financial clarity, relationship, alignment, physical well-being, and genuine daily peace. And the fourth is a track designed specifically for abundance frequency activation. Together, these carry an $80 value, included with the $39 investment. There is a full money-back guarantee, no conditions, no time limit on how long you have used it before you decide. One thing I want to protect you from: there are copies circulating online that are not the original. The results that 18,000 people have documented come from the specific engineering that Dr. Lake's research produced. A copy does not carry what the original carries. The only place to access the real thing is through the link in the description below and in the pinned comment. If your spirit resonates with what I have described, if something in the conversation we have had today tells you that this is part of what was waiting here for you, the information is in the description below and in the pinned comment. Do not go there because you feel pressure. Go there only when you feel led. That discernment you have been developing, use it here. We are near the end now, and I want to close this with something that is not information. I want to give you a moment to release the version of you that walked in here carrying the weight of an unclaimed identity, the version that has been managing things, performing things, scrolling through life without fully knowing why nothing ever quite lands the way it should. I want you to let that version go. Not with shame, with gratitude. That version got you here. It kept you going when going was hard. You do not have to carry it anymore. Take a breath. Let the exhale be the release. You do not have to understand what you are releasing. Just let the exhale carry it. Now I want to invite you to something. You do not have to close your eyes. You do not have to move. Just let your attention turn inward for a moment, wherever you are right now. Picture the moment your thumb stopped. See it happening. Notice that something in you recognized something before your mind could explain it. Now picture the season behind you. Not the pain of it, the work of it, the patience you built, the discernment you developed, the capacity that was enlarged in the quiet. See it not as loss. See it as preparation, the most intentional kind. And now, picture yourself receiving, not performing, not managing, not trying to prove you deserve what is already yours. Just receiving, hands open, the weight lifted, the name written before time spoken over you now. Let that land somewhere real inside of you. And here is what I hear the Father saying over you in this moment. These are the words I feel in my spirit for you. I called your name before the foundation of time. You heard me today. That is all I ever needed from you, your willingness to stop, to stay, to listen when everything else in your day was pulling you forward. What is yours has always been yours. I have not changed my mind. I have not given it to someone else. I am not finished with you. Now go and live from the name I gave you, not from fear, not from performance, but from the commissioned identity that was yours before you knew to ask for it. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. Go, chosen one. May you never again mistake your preparation for punishment. May you never again scroll past what was addressed to you. And may the name God called you by be the name you answer to from this day forward. If this message reached you today, I want you to type something in the comments. Type, I am called. Not as a caption, as a declaration, because somewhere in these comments, someone else is going to scroll through and read those words, and they are going to need to see them. You might be the reason they stay. If something shifted for you in this video, the like button is your acknowledgement, not for any algorithm, as your way of saying, I received this. And if you want to keep being led to what is specifically yours, subscribe and turn on the notification so these messages find you when they are meant to find you. Think of one person in your life right now, someone who has been carrying something quietly, without applause, faithful in private, not sure if anyone sees them. Send this to them today. They need to hear that they were called and not forgotten.